Most systems treat escalation as a behavioral event. Behavioral architecture treats escalation as compression. The architectural pressure created when space becomes too tight, movement becomes too dense, and the nervous system is forced to operate under conditions it cannot regulate. Compression is not about square footage. Compression is about pressure, the amount of spatial, sensory, and relational force the environment applies to the nervous system. Episode 18 exposes how compression destabilizes people, how pressure becomes behavior, and how redesigning compression reshapes the entire system. Compression is the density of movement, proximity, and sensory input the environment forces the nervous system to process. Compression is created through tight spatial geometry, congested circulation, narrow thresholds, high movement density, sensory overload, unpredictable transitions, staff clustering. The nervous system reads compression instantly. It knows when a space is too tight, too crowded, too fast, or too pressured. When compression is low, the body settles. When compression is high, the body compensates. Compression is not emotional. Compression is architectural. Compression creates load, the weight the nervous system carries when the environment applies too much pressure in too little space. Compression load spikes when people are forced into narrow pathways, circulation bottlenecks, sensory tone spikes, staff cluster in doorways, transitions are abrupt, rooms have no breathing space. Compression load decreases when circulation is open, spacing is predictable, sensory tone is regulated, thresholds are buffered, movement is guided, geometry supports expansion. Most systems try to manage compression behaviorally, but compression is not a behavioral variable. It is a spatial one. If the environment compresses people, the nervous system prepares for threat, and preparation looks like behavior. Compression creates loops, cycles of architectural pressure that repeat until the environment changes. The loop looks like this. The environment compresses movement. The nervous system interprets pressure as risk. The person escalates to create space. Staff interpret escalation as behavior. Staff move closer to intervene. Compression increases. The loop repeats. This is why some rooms explode instantly. This is why some hallways feel volatile. This is why some units destabilize, even when staff are doing everything right. The loop is not behavioral. It's architectural. Break the compression pattern, and you break the loop. Decompression is not a space. Decompression is design. Architectural decompression is created through widened circulation paths, buffered thresholds, predictable spacing, sensory pacing, anchored positioning, low friction movement, environmental stabilizers. When decompression is architectural, the nervous system receives one message. There is enough space to regulate. It stops bracing. It stops pushing. It stops escalating. Decompression becomes structural, not behavioral. The nervous system interprets pressure as a primary threat signal. It asks, do I have room to move? Is this space closing in? Is movement predictable? Is the environment safe? When pressure is low, the nervous system relaxes. When pressure is high, the nervous system escalates. People are not overreacting. They are responding to compression the environment created. The nervous system is not misbehaving. It is adapting. Once you understand environmental compression, you stop asking, why do they escalate so fast? Why does this hallway always blow up? Why does this room feel unsafe? And you start asking, what pressure does the environment apply before anyone speaks? That is architectural clarity. That is upstream stabilization. That is the real cause of downstream behavior. Compression is not managed. Compression is designed. In episode 19, we move into environmental density. How the number of people, objects, and sensory element inside a space creates predictable patterns of volatility, overload, and nervous system compensation. Because compensation is pressure, density is volume, and together they determine whether an environment stabilizes or destabilizes the people inside it. Design is the first intervention. Behavior is the last.